Here I am live. Hey folks, how you doing? Kurt with you, Manana Nomas, and I am in the middle of bringing this Monday down to a close. It is almost 5 o'clock here in Kansas, and was just wrapping up a really good social meeting on Slack. Actually, I invited some people in Slack on post status to join a live stream with me, kind of a build-in public live stream, and met a lady named Lisa. Runs an agency, and really nice lady. Really enjoyed talking to her. And then had a quick client meeting directly after that. And then I thought, well, before I wrap this up today, let's kind of jump in with the message of the day or what's on my heart or something like that. So it had occurred to me that I kind of had my Christmas last week. So my daughter had come in from California to visit. And so I was like, "Hey, this is Christmas, I guess, right? We're gonna get together as a family and under one roof, and we're gonna do, Christmas, right?" So I guess it was Christmas for us in that situation, and you know, uh, that means that I'm gonna be while the rest of you are, um, while the rest of you, yeah, let's do that. That's nice. Yeah, nice music. So while the rest of you are doing the holiday thing, I'm going to be working. I'm going to be running my agency. And I had to stop and think, like, do I wish it was different? And the truth of the matter is, I don't. I really don't. And if you're watching this, hit a comment, hit a like, hit a share. God forbid you'd share, but hit a like, a comment, a share. Let me know where you're at. Um, but I just wanted to kind of touch base there for a moment and be like, no, I'm really, really content. Um, the family's been through a lot of change this year. I mean, just a few months ago, we lived in Southern California. Now we're in Kansas. And the move to Kansas has been phenomenal. And I say it over and over and over again. No regrets. Escaping California. Hashtag escaping Southern California. It's a trending hashtag. But even though I'm trending the hashtag, it was still, a task. It was still an endeavor, an adventure. Took a lot of energy to make that happen. And then we got here and we're making things go. Now the weirdest thing is happening since the move. Since the move, Manana Nomas's business has actually gone up. Take these off so I can see you guys. Manana Nomas's business has actually gone up. We're seeing an influx of higher quality content, of a higher quality, gosh, I hate to say it, but clients. And I don't mean higher quality as in like they're better people, but I mean higher quality as in they're more established companies with bigger budgets that are able to, move and go. And like I said, I had my Christmas last week. And so what's really ironic is here at the end of the year with this kind of like last of the season push, I had a couple of client meetings that were like sales meetings. And I was like, well, what's your timeline? And they were like, well, with the holidays, we're not sure, but we were hoping to have something done by the middle of January or something. And in those couple of situations, I was able to say, hey, no sweat. We already had Christmas. And a lot of people in my agency don't celebrate Christmas, so I'm honest with folks, tell folks that's what I got going on. So I've got a team of people that are going to be working straight through. If you need this thing done by New Year's, we can knock this thing out, now, and then I give them the estimate, and I charge them for working in a hurry, but they're on it. And I got to tell you, I ask a lot of people, because I'm very plain and very transparent when I speak. I say, how are things? How you doing? Are you content? Are you happy? And I got to tell you, in the midst of all of the nonsense, in the midst of all of the nonsense, I ask, what would I like to be? What do I want to be substantially different? What would I flip the switch on immediately if I could? And I'll be honest with you, it's not much. It's not much. Do I wish I had a bigger, nicer house? Yes. Do I wish I had a brand new truck? Yes. Do I wish I had a brand new Ducati in the garage? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I can wish all those things all day long. But when it comes to day-to-day life and living, I ask myself, "Are you content? Are you content? Like, what would you manifest? What would you change if you could change something?" And nothing, nothing. And for the first time in a long time, I can just be thankful and grateful for where my family's at, where I'm at, where our relationships, where our clients are. Things are moving really, really well. Now I say that, and I see crazy stuff on the news. I mean, we got people in the Senate getting naked in the deliberation box or something, whatever that was about. We've got, corruption news here, we've got health news here, we've got, just stuff everywhere. And it seems like everything's just going crazy around us. But even in the midst of the crazy, I'm able to say, but am I content? And yeah, for the most part, I am. And so, when I consult with businesses, when I consult or train power sports dealers and marine dealers, a lot of what we talk about is how can we reduce friction and increase contentment, internally within our businesses. And if we can make our places of employment, kind of a content, happy arena, well, then we can reduce the friction with our customers, and everything else seems to grow and go from there. And I love growing and going. So, Chris at Lifter LMS, he says that I got a gift for landing and expanding. And I sometimes I think he's talking about my beer belly, but I think he's actually talking about business. And it's, to have the ability to land and expand, to get your foot in the door, knock their socks off, and then open up the opportunities. And that's been exactly what's been happening this year, especially since the move to Kansas. So, folks, I just wanted to kind of reach out. I wanted to kind of inspire folks or help some folks out. I've been talking for a little bit about, it's you got to play the long game. You got to play the long game. You got to do the work. You got to sow the seeds. You got to be patient. You got to be persistent and consistent. And if you stick with it, fruit happens. You might not be the millionaire you wanted to be, but you can pay your rent. Things fall into place. I'm a person of faith, and I say all the time that, God's got a way of working it out in the end. He always does. And sometimes I think he's late. Sometimes I think he's late to the game. But realistically, God ain't never late. He's in charge. He knows what he's doing. And that's where I'm at with that. I have just landed a couple of unbelievably good clients. Could not be happier, because here's the deal. Not only do they pay their invoices, not only is the work kind of cool, but the people are amazing. Like, when you're doing business with folks and you get on a Zoom call and you want to talk to them, you want to make eye contact, you want to crack a joke, you want to have fun while you're working. Those are the kinds of clients that we have right now. And I'll be honest with you, when I lived in Southern California, I couldn't hold out for clients like that. I had to take every job that came. Even if I had a yellow flag or a red flag on the play, I'd be like, oh, it's going to be a nightmare, but I got to say yes. I need the money. Now that we're in Kansas and I've lowered my expenses by 65%, I'm able to now say, yeah, you know what? I don't think we're a good fit for you. I think you need to find somewhere else. Let me make a couple of recommendations for other agencies that might be able to assist you. And I help them, and I'm nice to them, and I'm pleasant, but they're not the jobs that I want. And now I'm in a position where I can actually start focusing on the work, on the avatar that I want to do business with. And when you can work with what you want to work within your strength zone, and work with the people that you want to work with, it's hard to believe you're not going to find success. So, folks, that's it in a nutshell. I just wanted to kind of inspire you, to let you know that, if you do the work, if you're patient, it'll come around. There's light at the end of this tunnel. If you're starting your own thing, It's out there. You gotta keep with it. A lot of my projects that I had in the past, I failed. I quit before they took off. And how do I know that they would have taken off? See, this is a big question because people say, oh, you say that all the time. You don't know if it would have taken off or not. I had multiple ventures that I tried to launch, and I would launch them and I wouldn't be patient enough. You see, I'm somewhat of a, I don't want to say I'm a visionary because that sounds corny, but I'm somewhat of a futurist. I see things before they're needed. And so I created products or services that people didn't even realize they had needed. And so I created them and I launched them and then nothing happened. Why? Because I was providing an answer to a pain point that didn't exist yet. And I wasn't smart enough in my marketing to educate the customer that it was a pain point. And I lost my patience and I shut it down. And then after it became a pain point in society, other people jumped in and did exactly what I had done, but found success with it. And this happened 2 or 3 times. And so that life experience, folks, I'm older than I look. That life experience has taught me to have more patience. When I come out with a new concept or a new idea and I get all excited and I put myself in a hurry to launch it and get out there real quick, now I'm old enough and mature enough to slow myself down and say, wait a minute, before you get all overly invested in this thing, let's find an audience for this. Let's see if the pain point exists. If not, we can earmark it and put it in a drawer for later, right? But I'm getting much better at being mature and picking and choosing which way I want to go. And like I said, this move to Kansas has really taken the pressure off and has allowed me to be in a mind space to make smarter decisions over quicker decisions. And so it's really worked out well. Now, I don't know how else to finish the message now other than to say, how are you doing? Are you finding contentment at this time of year as we roll up into, Christmas is in a week, and then a lot of people take the week off, until New Year's, and then New Year's happens and it takes a couple of days to get back up to speed. As all this is happening and maybe you're an independent business owner and you're starting to say, well, how am I going to finish the year? No one's working. I can't get anything done. Give yourself a break. Take a breath. Do what you can. Reach out to people like me, right? If we're not connected, if we're not following each other here on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, jump in and hit me up. All right. But folks, I just want to encourage you. Put in the work, be patient, wait for the harvest. It's coming. It's coming. No matter the nonsense that's out there, no matter what the government's doing or business owners or billionaires or what's happening on X, don't worry about that stuff. Focus on what you do, find success with it, and then find contentment for yourself so that you've got that inner peace that allows you to enjoy the moment. I don't even do yoga, I swear.